So let's transition into the game of the week for this week. The Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. So Miami obviously 3-0 going into the week. I don't want to say consensus, but a lot of people have them as the number one team in football.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fair point. I think there's an argument that they're the best coach team right now. I don't think there's an argument at all that it's the best offense. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I mean, they were missing Jalen Waddle, and they put up 70. Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Tua has been upright, and we know when he's upright, he's really good. He's been even better than expected. So, with all that being said, they're 2.5-point dogs going into Buffalo. I think that's, first of all, a tip of the cap to the environment that is in Buffalo. That's a tip of the cap to the quarterback that Josh Allen is and can be when he's not making mistakes. That's a tip of the cap to how good that defense has been, being able to shut down Washington, which, yeah, I know you're like, oh, it's Washington. Well, they put up 35 against Denver. Now, we can see that Denver isn't very good, but nonetheless, it's an NFL offense, and they've been really, really good. So, it's interesting. So let's go over the keys to victory here, and then I'll kind of talk about who I like in the game and why. Okay. Let's go over Miami's keys to victory. I think on offense, you have to establish the run. And this goes back to keeping Tua upright. If Tua has to drop back 45 times against that pass rush and against that secondary, it's not going to be pretty, right? You have to establish the run, much like they did against Denver.
You have to be dynamic on both sides of the ball here. And you can't be a one-dimensional offense going against the Bills, or else, like you said, it's going to get really ugly really quick.
Yeah, so I mean, and they did against Denver. Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, like if you can establish that run and Tua can throw on 2nd and 4, 3rd and 1, you could throw with creativity, with play action, with tempo, with pace. That's where Tua excels, and that's where this entire offense excels. Defensively, I think you got to keep Josh Allen in the pocket. If there is a weakness on the team, without Jalen Ramsey, it is their DBs. Outside of Xavier Howard, I don't love their DBs, and I don't love their linebackers. So in terms of Miami's defense, so if you can keep Josh Allen in the pocket and make him, you got to keep that clock under 4, right? If you can make him get rid of the ball in 4 seconds, that would be a win for you as a defense, right? It's when he gets outside of the pocket, your DBs can cover for 2.5, 3.5 seconds. If they have to cover for 5 seconds, you're screwed, right? He's going to make plays down the field, either with his arm or he's going to stretch you vertically with his leg. So either way, you have to keep him in the pocket, make him make decisive throws. If you can pressure him in the pocket, even better. But don't let him get outside the pocket, extend plays, and be special.
Yeah, we saw 2 weeks ago, we saw the Miami Dolphins defensive line play a lot better and finally start to step up. We saw more of that this past week.
Yeah.
This is going to be the real test, right? Like, you have to be able to get pressure on Josh Allen, and from the edges. You can't let him...
Right, Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher, is going to have to play well.
You can't let him move left or move right. Now, you can kind of afford to let him step up because it's not going to take as much time to let the play develop, but you have to do everything you can to keep him there. You maybe put a spy on him. I don't know what you have to do, but you have to sack Josh Allen a couple of times, and you have to make him feel that pressure, or else he's just going to light you up.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, let's flip the script over to Buffalo, who, yes, they're a favorite, but there's a thing called a public dog. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to put money on Miami, and Buffalo is going to end up being a public dog. So on offense, I would say pretty simple. Don't turn the ball over. When they don't turn the ball over, they win like 80% of their games.
Yeah.
Like when they don't lose the turnover battle, they win like 80 to 85% of their games. So Josh Allen, don't turn the ball over. That's, you always want to do that, but that seems very self-explanatory.
Very important this week, though.
Well, yeah, that offense, you can't give them extra possession. If you give Mike McDaniel and that offense extra possessions, you're screwed.
Oh, yeah, especially with all the weapons they have.
It's insane. And then on defense, get to Tua. Get to Tua. He's undersized. He can be hurried up. If you can get to Tua, get him on the ground a couple times, especially in that first quarter and then that first half, make him think about that pass rush, get them off their rhythm, off their timing. It's a very timing and rhythm-based offense. If you can disrupt that timing and rhythm, you can have a lot of success as a defense. New England did that. Now, obviously, New England lost, but they held them to 24 points. If Buffalo holds them to 24 points, they're most likely going to win the football game.
Right, because Josh Allen's going to be able to
I think they're going to put up
points.
closer to 30, right? And so if you can keep, Miami under 30, which I think you can if you get to Tua, then you're going to have some success.
Yeah.
So there's your keys to victory. How I see this game going, again, I have what did I take?
You took the Bills. I took the Dolphins.
I took Buffalo. For the reason, I do think they're going to get them off their timing and rhythm, so I'll take Buffalo. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to take Buffalo 31-28. to win close at home. The home field advantage is worth about 2.5 to 3 points. So I think that's going to, come to fruition. They'll win by a field goal.
Okay. I also like a win by a field goal, except I like it on the Miami side, 34-31 Dolphins. I think both of these teams are going to break the 30 mark. I don't know what the over-under is on this game, but I would probably say to take the over. Both offenses are high-flying. I think even though the pass rush in Buffalo is really good and the front four is really good in Buffalo, I still think that Miami's going to have enough juice.
53.5.
Okay, take the over.
I agree.
There's going to be a lot of points scored. Both of these offenses are going to get moving. It's going to be one of those games where it comes down to who can make the first and the last stop. If you can get ahead of it and kind of stay ahead.
Who can play from ahead, right?
Yeah, because I don't see this game being like a big comeback type thing. It's going to be a shootout. Who can step up on defense? That's going to be the big thing.
It's fair. Who makes the extra stop?
Because
I'm interested to see.
Yeah, it's fair enough. This is going to be a divisional matchup for the ages right here.
Definitely the game of the week.
Week
cannot
4.
wait to watch. Can't wait to watch.
What window is that in? 1 o'clock?
The 1 o'clock, yeah.
Okay.
That's the 1 o'clock window right there.
Perfect. The 1 o'clock window has been home to a bunch of good games recently.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games in the 1 o'clock window. Now, granted, these teams are tire fires, but I think Denver-Chicago could be interesting, because they're both really bad.
I mean, they'll at least
I think
keep
the
it close.
Ravens and the Browns should be interesting. I think the Rams and the Colts that's going to be a fascinating game, and then the Bengals-Titans as well.
I like it. All right, guys. That is everything we have.